Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Toppers World, and this video is about IELTS speaking part 1. Such questions appeared in 25th March 2021 IELTS exam, recently asked, and I had so many questions to share with you here, and I would try to answer those questions one by one. And there are so many questions you can see. So the first set of questions that I'm having here is about museum. Have you ever been to a museum? Yes, of course. I have recently visited a museum that is called Sikh Museum located in Amritsar. I went there along with my friends. Are there many museums in your hometown? Honestly speaking, there is no museum in my hometown. My hometown is quite small and there is no museum. How often do you go to a museum? Actually, I'm not a regular visitor to a museum. As I already told you that there is no museum in my town. So the nearest museum is located in Amritsar, which is 60 or 70 kilometers away from me, from my town. And the museum is a Sikh museum that is showing the history of Sikhism and the history of Punjab. There is also Maharaja Ranjit Singh Museum located in Company Bagh that is about the life and the things associated with the great Punjab king Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Do you prefer to visit a museum alone or with friends? Surely I prefer to go there with my friends because with friends we can discuss the things, we can share our viewpoints and experience the different things from the different angles. So usually I prefer to go with my friends. Did you visit museums when you were a child? No, I didn't. I hadn't got any opportunity to visit a museum in my childhood. I first time went to the museum when I was in my college life. Do you think museums are important? Why? Of course, museums are really very useful for our society because it tells us about the past history, culture, things of the past time. Different museums are there related to different subject and topics. So every kind of museum, whether it is related to uh, pictures or related to jewelry, clothes, old time weapons. They have so many things to tell us. So, in this way, we can keep ourselves linked to our history, our culture. So, they are really very important for us. And the second set of questions is about texting. So, do you like texting? Yes, I like to do texting when I'm busy. I'm not able to make a phone call, or when there is too much noise around at that situations. I love to do texting. How often do you send text messages? I send a text messages almost daily on my WhatsApp because it is now very common and essential in these days. Sometimes the people whom we want to talk, they are busy and we are not able to make the phone call to them, so we use text messages. So many apps are there which help us to send the text messages, and they are almost free. Do you prefer sending messages or receiving messages? I do both. When I have to send the messages, definitely I would like to do that. And receiving is also essential, so I like to do both things. Have you ever received a confusing text message? Yes, recently I received a text message which is not in English, not even in that language which I am able to understand, like Hindi and Punjabi. That was something I don't know which language that was. So I simply deleted that message. Have you ever had difficulty replying? Yes, sometimes certain messages are there on WhatsApp which I find difficult to reply because sometimes I don't have any information about them, I don't have any knowledge, or sometimes these messages are so serious of nature that they require deep thinking before replying. So some messages are there when I face difficulties to reply them. Is there any chance when texting someone is better than calling him? Of course, there are many such situations when I prefer to send text messages. As I already told, sometime the receiver on the other end is not free or busy with his work, and sometimes there is too much noise around, so we are not able to make a phone call. So in such situations, it's better to send text messages. Next set is, how do you remember people's names? Actually, I do not follow any kind of trick or strategy to remember people's names. The people whom I frequently meet, I do remember their names, and the people whom I do not meet too much frequently or meet them after a long time, sometime I forget their names. Do you often forget people's names? No, I do not often forget. I only forget when I do not meet any people for a long period of time. In such situations, I forget their names. Is it easy for you to remember people's names? At this age, I'm 48 now, so at this age, it's difficult for me to remember people's name. When I was young, about in my 20s or 30s, at that time, it was quite easy for me. But now I face difficulties as I am suffering a little bit from short memory, so I am not able to remember people's name as much as I used to do in my childhood days or youthful days. Does your name, what do you do to remember a specific name? In such cases, if that person is important to me, I write down his name in my diary or save his mobile number with his name or on WhatsApp. And in this way, I'm able to remember the name of any specific person. Does your name have any special meaning? Yes, of course. My name is Praveen Kumar, and Praveen is a Hindi word. It means experienced or skilled, efficient person. How would you feel if others don't remember your name? I don't mind if someone forget my name. I try to make him recall my name or remind my name. Otherwise, I do not feel bad about, because this is very common in these days. So I don't think that there is any reason to feel offended when someone forget my name. Now there is a cue card which was asked on 25th March. Describe an interesting conversation you had. Who this person is, what the conversation was about, why you had this conversation, and explain how you felt about it. So the topic is in the past tense, except the first question. So many times I had conversations with my near and dear ones, with my friends. Here I would like to talk about one very interesting conversation that took place between me and one of my uncle who lives in Canada. Actually, my uncle and I was having, both of us are having a WhatsApp call. That was a video call, and the conversation was about Corona pandemic, which was, spread, which has been spreaded all over the world for last 1 year, and the people are suffering badly about it in all over the world. Especially, he was talking with me about the corona's effect in Canada, how Canada's government is very much serious about spread of pandemic, and there are some people who are very careless about this. They still not maintaining social distancing, despite the fact that they're well educated. I also told the situation about my country. Even here, even well educated people are not following norms properly, rules and regulations properly. They were not covering their faces with masks, although now government is very much careful, and people are being injected with certain medicines or certain kind of injections to control the effect of, but the number of cases rising. So we were both having a very serious talk about on this situation, and that was a really very important topic for us, important and interesting conversation for us, because people were suffering in both countries, and due to that business are going down, students are suffering a lot. Many students who have got already visas for Canada, they were not able to make their flights. They were taking studies online, and people on both sides are very much worried about. So I felt about that. That was a very healthy conversation took place between both of us. We exchanged a lot of knowledge, thoughts, and experiences. Over and all, it was interesting conversation and quite thought provoking. It improved my knowledge regarding this pandemic. So this is just an example. You can talk anything else, whichever you feel you have some knowledge about. Another topic that was asked on 25th March was describe your favorite weather. What kind of weather it is, when this weather usually occurs, what you usually do during this weather, explain why you like it. So the whole topic is in the present tense now. There are so many type of weather conditions in my area where I'm living. I belong to Punjab, that is in the north part of India, and there are different kind of climatic conditions throughout the year, quite hot in summers and quite cold in winter. However, there are some moderate weather conditions in the month of October and November, and the weather in these months I like the most because in these 2 months weather is moderate, neither too hot nor too cold, and one can wear the kind of clothes he or she likes. And I like to do a number of things during this such kind of weather conditions, especially in the early morning time. In the month of October the weather is quite pleasant. It's the best time for morning walk, jogging, yoga, or gym activities. So in such kind of weather I like to go for a walk with my friends and enjoy the beauty of nature outside, as there is a lot of greenery around in these days. I especially like this weather's condition because there is no sweating, there is no shivering, and there is no heat around. So moderate temperature makes me spend time outside at any time of the day, whether it is afternoon or evening or late evening, and playing cricket, football, exercising. These kind of things are quite amazing in such kind of weather. Even the students, I think, can focus more on their studies in such kind of months because of the moderate temperature in the daytime. So this is a weather that I like the most. Next topic is describe a time you when you advise someone. So past, this topic in the past, who the person is, what advice you gave, what the person did after receiving your advice, and do you think you gave the correct advice? Normally, I don't like to give any advice to other until or unless it is required. Here, I like to speak about a time when I advised one of my friend. His name is Shashank, who wanted to go to America on illegal basis by crossing the borders from the Mexico, Cuba, Mexico, something like that. Actually, he was in touch with an agent who did such kind of practices and used to take people to America in this way. So when I learned that my best friend Shashank, who is very intelligent in studies, very hardworking and diligent person, he is doing such kind of thing, I was shocked. I went to him and advised him that this is totally wrong. You would be caught there. The chances are that Mexican police or American police would catch you, put into the jail, and your whole life would get spoiled. Moreover, spending 50 lakh is too big amount. And when I learned that he was forcing his family to sell the house, that was really very shocking and sad. I advised him that suppose if you get caught there, and what would happen to your parents, where they would live. The house is the only property your parents were having. So I advised him to drop this plan and keep on studying in India, and then later on search for any suitable job here. So the kind of advice that I gave, it was 100% correct advice, and my friend followed that advice, and later on he dropped that plan, and he also thanked me for giving him timely advice. Next, first part question is sorry, part three question is today, what is the most popular way to communicate? In these days, there are so many ways to communicate. One can communicate face to face by using WhatsApp, or so many apps are there, by making phone calls, by visiting the people's home, or they can have written communication by sending emails or letters. But the most popular way of communication in these days is mobile talks. Do people communicate more when they talk face to face? Yes, of course they talk a lot when they meet face to face, because there is emotional interaction take place, and people like to note the expressions, body gestures, movements, and they can note down whether the other person taking interest in their talks or not. So usually people feel very comfortable or enjoyable while talking face to face, and such talks are usually longer. Is texting the most popular method of communication among the young people? Yes, I have seen that in my country. Youngsters usually text, and they text very fast as compared to the elderly people. And they often, I see them texting while they're traveling in the buses or in their offices, at their homes. Even my younger brother love to text very much. What conversations do young people normally have? It depends upon the various situations. Mostly youngsters, if they are in their 20, 30 years age, they talk about their career, their business, their education. Some talk about their girlfriends, some talk about their boyfriends, newly released movies. So they have lots of topics to talk about. And in my country, youngsters, I also heard that my youngsters mostly talk about cricket or different kind of sports. Why do some people communicate more effectively than others? Actually, it depends upon the level of education one is having, and how much one's social is. So I have seen that people who are very extrovert, who are very social, they have excellent communication skills, because such people talk and talk too much with others, so they develop that skill. So people who are extrovert, people who have lot of practice of speaking, who are having public speaking skills, they have better communication than others. Do you think we need to be good at communication at work? Sure, and I think this is one of the best skill an employee must have at workplace, because if you are dealing with public, or if you are dealing with your colleagues or top management, lower level management, you need to have good communication skill. And it has been seen that those who are able to speak well, they are given more chances of promotion, and they achieve their goals faster than in life than those who have poor communication skills. Next set is, should people check the weather forecast every day? Actually, it's not mandatory. Those people who have agriculture type work, or those who work in fields, or those who are planning parties, functions, I think they need to check. But all people, I think that they need not to check the weather every day. What are people's opinions on weather forecasts? Mostly people in my area have different kind of opinions. Some trust weather forecasts on Google, or having different kind of weather related apps, and they trust them. And there are also many people who don't trust them because they want 100% accurate information, which is not possible related to the weather. So people have varying opinions. How does the weather affect people? Weather affect both positively and negatively. People who like to have rains, as they are related to agriculture work, so they get positive effects. But the same people also get negative effect when their crops are about to harvest, or they are fully ripened. So at that time, if they get a lot of rain, the whole crop can destroy. So negative effects are there. People who like rains or cold days, they love traveling in such situations. So hot weather condition, cold weather condition, both have positive and negative effect on people. Do people wear different clothes in different types of weather or different seasons? Yes, as I belong to northern India, and we have so many types of climatic conditions throughout the year, or different kind of weather conditions, so people wear different kind of clothes. For example, in summers they prefer to wear cotton based clothes or light colored clothes, shorts, and in cold winter days they like to wear warm clothes, jackets, pullovers, heavy garments, in order to protect their body from the cold temperatures. Why do people wear cotton clothes in summer? They wear cotton clothes because cotton absorb sweat, and also keep the body cool from sun rays or hot temperatures, as cotton repel the heat. And so we feel comfortable, so that is why we wear cotton clothes in summer, or people wear cotton clothes in summer. How many seasons are there in your country? Roughly speaking, I think there are four or five seasons in my country, like winter, summer, autumn, spring, and rainy season. Actually, the rainy season is a part of summer season, so sometimes we count it as a part of summer, or sometimes we count it separately. So 4 to 5 seasons are there. Which festivals are related to the seasons in your country? Actually, we have a lot of festivals, and it's difficult to count all those festivals because different areas have different kind of seasons. So they have festivals associated with the seasons. For example, in Punjab, we have Baisakhi, that is a festival of season because winter's over, summer just about to start, and people celebrate that. And along with that, this festival is also associated with the ripening of crop. The harvesting of wheat crops begins in. Then we have Lodi festival in winter season, Basant festival for spring season, and the Sawan month, that is July, August. We have so many days to celebrate in month of Sawan associated with rain. So we have lots of festivals in this way linked to seasons. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you find it very useful, and I hope that you will prepare yourself best for forthcoming IELTS speaking tests.